Hey everybody, so with the year ending, I wanted to go over my top favorite shoes of 2025. I was kind of completely blown away by several of the shoes that I purchased this year, and I purchased a lot. And I am kind of embarrassed to give you the number, but I wanted to go over my everyday daily trainer, and then I also wanted to go over my favorite racing shoe, because while my daily trainer may have been an easy decision to make, my racing shoe was not. But without further ado, I wanted to share with you my favorite daily trainer of the year, and that is the Adidas Adizero Evo SL. How much do I like this shoe? Well, I not only own one pair, or two pairs, or three pairs, or four pairs, but I've owned 5 pairs of this shoe this year. Primarily because when they stop selling it, I want to make sure that I have several pairs lined up with me so that I don't have to go out and try to test other different types of shoes, because I know this works for me. I'll leave the breakdown of the shoe's mechanics here so that you have an understanding of what the shoe measurements look like in comparison to the types of shoes that you usually run in. This shoe has been amazing. I can't describe just how quickly my feet adjusted to this shoe. It has, in my opinion, the perfect amount of foam to absorb the amount of impact you go out and do your runs, and it works for almost every single type of run that I do. It works for your long, easy, normal, everyday runs. It works for my speed intervals, and I've actually used them for a race. I ran a 10 miler in August with a company called Take the Bridge. It was an unsanctioned race. I ran this race without a carbon plated shoe, and I was blown away by my pace and the fact that I came in first place for my gender. It is wonderful, and it's also at an incredibly good price. Running shoes have gotten more expensive this year, but the price of the shoe, in my opinion, is at that perfect sweet spot, especially for what it offers. It's normally $150, but right now for the holidays, across kind of the whole board for like every single running shoe website, as even Adidas, for example, their website is on sale for about $100. So if you're looking for a new daily trainer, if you're looking for a do-it-all shoe, this is the shoe to get. Now, my favorite racing shoe, this was a toss-up. It was very difficult to pick my favorite racing shoe because I ran a number of races at the beginning of the year and in the middle of the year, and I even ran the Berlin 5K in this shoe. And I know technically it came out last year, but I've used previous iterations of this shoe. They just didn't work out for me. I actually ended up cutting my feet at several places and have scars to prove it from the shoe itself. So I kind of tossed this off as like, I don't think the shoe's going to work for me. It didn't work for me for the last version. But looking at reviews and reading about other people who had the same issue with the previous shoe, I had to get it, and I fell in love with it almost immediately, and that is the Adizero Adios Pro 4. They knocked this out of the park. It took several years to make this shoe, and it shows that they really put their heart and soul and a lot of knowledge and research into making this. I've had none of the same issues that I had with the previous shoe. It has worked flawlessly for me. It's incredibly light. Texture and the material on the front is perfect for racing because it's very thin and breathable. And I'll also leave right here, same thing with the Adizero Evo SL, just a breakdown of the measurements of the shoe so you can have an understanding of how they work. But it has carbon plated rods here rather than a full blown carbon plate, which does the job, and it does it really well. And while this might not be on sale anymore for the holidays, you might be able to find one here and there. This is a great everyday racing shoe. Like if you are the kind of person who is not super fast, because there are certain racing shoes that are primarily made for those individuals that run a 6-5 minute mile. I'm looking at you, Nike Alpha Fly 3. This shoe is, in my opinion, for the everyday runner who wants to race. It does a great job. It's very easy on the feet, on the ankles, on the legs, and it works in terms of the energy propulsion that you get from the carbon plate at nearly every pace. I want to say probably if you're running anywhere from a 10 to 12 mile and faster, you will feel it in these, and it absorbs so much impact, which is great. But I think my favorite racing shoe, and I've only done a handful of races in these for the year so far because it came out pretty recently, is going to be the ASICS Metaspeed Edge Tokyo. I ran several marathons last year in the Metaspeed Sky Paris, and hit my marathon PR last year with that shoe of 3:11. This shoe, I ran the Berlin Marathon and I ran the Chicago and New York Marathon in. And this shoe just works from the get-go. This shoe is just so incredibly light. It's ridiculous. Stack height is insane. And I'll leave the measurements right here again, just like for the other shoes, so you can see what those measurements are. But the outer here is very breathable. You can kind of see it in the video. There's a bunch of little holes. So you have that breathability for your feet while you're racing. It is a little unforgiving on the ankles. There's not much stability flexibility when it comes to this versus the Adios Pro 4. So if you're running a faster mile, 8 and faster, 7.5 and faster per mile, I would recommend this shoe for you. There's two different versions for this. There's the Metaspeed Sky Tokyo and there's the Metaspeed Edge Tokyo. This is the Edge. I ran the Sky last year, and the main difference is the Sky is for individuals who, when they go faster, they tend to increase their stride length, and the Edge is for people who, when they get faster, tend to increase their cadence. I'm a cadence runner. I had no issues with the Sky last year, but I decided, based off of what the reviews I was seeing, people really like the Edge more than the Sky this year. So I decided to purchase this one. I think I made the right decision. It's like running on clouds. I've tested nearly every single major carbon plated shoe that came out this year. This does have a full carbon plate in it. You obviously can't see it because it's covered, but I've tested the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2, the Alphafly 3, the new Puma Fast R shoe, obviously the Adios Pro 4, the Metaspeed Sky Edge. The only shoes that I haven't tested are going to be the new New Balance shoe and the new Hoka shoe and the new Metaspeed Ray, which am just way too expensive for me.
Dad, I need $300.
But I want to say, out of all of those shoes, these are the two that I recommend the most. It's a toss-up between the two, and it depends on your usage. If you're an everyday average runner who is looking for a carbon plated shoe that'll get you to the finish line without putting a lot of pressure on your ankles, without being super unstable, because all carbon plated shoes are unstable in some sense, the Adios Pro 4 is going to be your shoe. And the good news is, since it's been out for about a year, you're more likely to see discounts with that. The Metaspeed Sky Tokyo, either the Edge or the Sky, is pretty new. I think it came out in August. It's a fantastic shoe. It is rather expensive. If you are running a faster pace, this is the shoe that I would recommend for you. These are the three top shoes for me for the year. For your daily training, the Adizero Evo SL is just, it's the most perfect shoe that I probably have ever run in, minus the tongue being a little too small. And for racing, that toss up between the Adios Pro 4 and the Metaspeed Edge Tokyo is based off of your speed and how unstable you want your shoe to be. But I hope this is helpful. If you do have any additional questions about the shoes, or if you want me to talk about any other shoes, or if you have questions about other shoes, either leave me a comment below or send me a message, because running shoes is kind of my obsession, and I do so much research on them when I go to buy a new shoe. I go to so many stores to try them on. I purchase so many shoes, and I want to bring to you as much information as I can on these shoes so that you can go out there and make the best decision for the shoes that you want. But I really want to thank you for watching this. It means a lot to me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Can we do it?